So, the RE3 remake has serious issues. It has its good qualities, but it has serious issues. And all you modern RE fans say, no, Blanket, you just can't appreciate change in the right direction. There's nothing wrong with the RE3 remake, Blanket. Fuck off with that shit. The RE3 remake has serious issues. Lack of attention to detail, for one. I mean, I understand if they wanted to switch up the standard patrol vehicle for the RPD from mid-90s Ford Crown Victorias back to late 80s General Motors A-bodies. Maybe they wanted to signify the RPD's transition from Cold War era times into the modern times. Well, that's fine, but can we at least put some decals on the fucking patrol cars? Not just a little strip that says police? It's half-ass lazy shit. It looks worse than a fan-made remake on YouTube. Honestly. And then they just copy-pasted, like, 20 STARS SWAT vans all over the city, even though STARS wasn't even operational in September of 1998. And there weren't even enough STARS members in the original unit to even operate that many vans. Little shit like that. People notice. I mean, not everyone has to have the attention to detail of a goldfish like you do. You people understand this, right? It's okay for people to look at detail and pay attention to detail. And that's a lot of our problems with that. Aside from the cut content, and that's a whole nother issue. You know, why was Bar Blackjack turned into nothing more than a cutscene in the RE3 remake? I mean, that is a beautiful and cool original location, and they really did a good job at updating it in the remake. But, you just get to see it for 2 seconds, Brad gets fucked up by a zombie, you get to see Bar Blackjack for 2 seconds, and you're just out of there and can't even explore it. What the fuck is that lazy shit, Capcom? Come on. No Raccoon City Park or Graveyard or Cool Shack with notes from the supervisors of the umbrella teams collecting data. Huge missed opportunity. No Inside of the Clock Tower, obviously. That's, you could probably say, the biggest complaint among original RE3 fans. And again, another huge missed opportunity. Shit like that. This shit was seriously rushed. And it has its somewhat okay positive aspects, okay. I really like their remake of the track A City in Ruin. Or The City of Ruin. It's cool how they incorporated it into this cool little mechanic shop in downtown Raccoon City. And they kind of did good at making you wonder, like, how do you even get a car into the shop down that alleyway? Which is kind of a nod to the original architecture and street layout of Raccoon City. So I appreciate that, with the little chalk circle outside of the mechanic shop. And, you see like a boutique window with dresses displayed in the downtown shopping area, and that's cool. I appreciate little nods like that. But man, it's just so much cut content of amazing locations. And where the hell was the disused plant? They're like, no, we're just going to make some copy-paste shit from the labs of RE2, and there's your ending to RE3. And some of the AI is just fucking stupid. You're fighting Nemesis in this, like Roman Colosseum-looking ring. And Carlos eventually comes, and he's like, Jill, I'll help you. Let me spot for you. He's on Module 4. And it's like, Nemesis is clearly right fucking in front of you. You didn't need Carlos to tell you he was there. It would be better if he was down there engaging in the fight. But let's just make Carlos fucking useless for that scene. Little shit like that. It's fucking stupid. And they turned Jill into this, like, shitty attitude, modern third wave feminist who's just a complete bitch to everyone for no reason. It's fucking annoying, and it's conduct unbecoming of the real Jill Valentine, frankly. Honestly. And they made her look just so vapid and characterless. She just looks like another trendy mainstream normie. I could go out all day with the serious issues of the RE3 remake. Number one for me is going to have to be the cut content and the laziness with the vehicles in the streets. And I've heard the argument before. Some of you are like, again, oh, nobody cares about cars. Nobody cares about the details of that. Well, some people do. That's why a lot of us fans love the originals. We loved the details. We loved how the models of the firearms were accurately portrayed. I appreciate they properly label the handgun you have as a G19. And, you know, like in another post I made on Stars posting on Facebook, I think it's cool how they've slowly canonized the Glock 19 into kind of a more standard issue role as a service pistol for RPD patrol officers. So it's a nice little thing. But it doesn't make up for switching RPD's patrol car to General Motors A-bodies and then putting 0 decals on them except for a little strip that says police. It's fucking lazy half-ass shit. Maybe it doesn't ruin the experience for you, but a lot of people notice that shit. Just saying. I can literally go on all day about this shit. I like the beginning of the game. Like, I love the ambience. It's kind of showing this transition around September 26th or 27th between people not really knowing what's going on and shit starting to hit the fan. And you have the ambience of people still being alive. It's not quite completely dead street zombie moaning ambience yet when you wake up in the remake. So they did a good job of that. But then out of nowhere, you get a phone call and it's like, Jill, get out of there. And Nemesis busts through the fucking wall. And then you're just engaged in this mindless, just push forward on the movement stick and try to escape Nemesis. You can just hold the controller with one hand and push forward on the stick. And within like 5 or 10 minutes of the start of the game, the original RE3 had a beautiful build-up to the meeting of Nemesis. Going through the city streets, the warehouse, meeting with Dario, making your way to the original bar Blackjack, which is, again, a beautiful setting and architectural setup, in my opinion. And then you eventually meet Nemesis in front of the RPD. But now in the remake, here's some trendy Hollywood shit where you're like staring in the mirror and your face turns into a zombie and you wake up and it was all a dream. It's theatrical shit. And then Nemesis busts through the fucking wall and you're just pushing forward on the movement stick trying to escape him. And it's like that in other parts of the game too, and Nemesis's AI is just scripted as fuck, which just ignores a really cool concept of the original game. He just is scripted to pop out of nowhere in places, and you just know what's coming. It's just a huge missed opportunity. And again, I like some of the music, but why did they leave out like most of the soundtrack? Why couldn't they do it like they did with the RE2 remake and bring over the original soundtrack? At least have it as an option for people to pre-order the damn game. But no, we're just going to copy-paste half the tracks from the RE2 remake. Not even the original tracks, the new tracks. And those were decent, but they belong in the RE2 remake, not copy-pasted all over the RE3 remake. It's just, again, lazy half-ass shit from Capcom. It's sad. It's just so obviously a soulless cash grab. And it's built off the amazingness of the original. I mean, really, it's a travesty and a disgrace. And again, a massive missed opportunity with this RE3 remake. And the main reason I'm making this video is because half of you trendy normie mainstream RE fans want to sit there and be like, how dare you even criticize the RE3 remake? Well, sorry, we have a right to. Those of us that grew up playing the original games over and over again, we're gonna notice shit like this. It's like seriously evident shit. And that stupid toy store with the big fucking head and it falls off and like rolls after you. Like, dude, is that a fucking joke? It's hard to take seriously, honestly. And it just moves too quickly. You just go right from the streets, basically, to the hospital. Once you take the subway car. I do love, I love, like, that area that connects to a bridge, which connects you to the clock tower area. That's some beautiful architectural scenery where you cross the river. So that's cool, I'll give them that. But then again, you can't even access the clock tower. You're just in this big battle with Nemesis around the clock tower, and then you move on and you're at the hospital. And the hospital's cool too. I love some areas of the hospital. I love like that one side entrance where you have like a circle drive around with like crashed ambulances outside, and you have zombies trying to get through the windows with like this red ominous light. That's some great ambience, Capcom. Like there's good parts of it. And you have like the more inner parts of the hospital where you have like that middle courtyard and like the inner rooms kind of circle around. You have these cool windows looking outside to it. That's great architectural design right there. And it looks really good. Like, I'll give them that. But then it turns into this big fucking RE6 style holding off hordes of zombies. And oh, you just go down through a walkway and you're in this copy pasted RE2 looking lab. No plant. There's no purification plant. It's fucking sad. And it's a huge wasted opportunity. And I'm sure I'll think of way more things, way more issues about this game after I end this video. I'll probably make more videos on it. Because there's a lot wrong with this game. It's not like little subtle differences. They cut so much great shit out of this game. And it was just extremely rushed. And I knew it was going to end up like this the second they announced it. Like, not even, like maybe a year after they came out with the RE2 remake, they're already announcing the RE3 remake? That's too fucking soon. They should have spent a good, I would say, 3 years at least on each remake. That's what needed to happen. I mean, at least they executed the 2 remake fairly well, with the exception of, again, lack of detail with the police cars. And oh, another thing is they just copy paste the shit out of this like white looking Audi Mitsubishi Frankenstein car that looks like it's straight out of the mid 2000s, and they copy paste it all over the streets of a city that was destroyed by October of 1998. So they really undermine themselves. Like, I feel like they went to the old General Motors A-body cars for police cars to kind of, again, denote that transition between the Cold War era and modern times. But then let's just copy and paste the same white, modern-looking car all over the fucking streets. It's fucking stupid. And people notice. And we have a right to notice and a right to talk about it. So all you modern fanboys, fuck off. Like, it's okay to appreciate the game. There were times I thought there were cool things in the game. But it is not a perfect game like you people are trying to portray it. It is not this perfect, awesome remake. It is a shortened, cut content, soulless cash grab, lack of detail, lazy attempt at making money by Capcom. They had some things right. They should have stuck with that and not cut corners with this shit, and it would have been an outstanding game. People would still be doing playthroughs. And the stupid fucking, I don't even remember the name of that stupid online add-on. That undermined the game too. They should have spent 0 time working on some bullshit, clunky playing online experience and put those resources into the main story. Maybe a few people like, RE Resistance, maybe a few people like it, and that's fine, you know. You have a right to enjoy it. But shit like that is part of what undermined this remake. And it's, I feel like they didn't realize the importance of Resident Evil 3. They just saw it as another title to remake and make money off of. And it's fucking sad. And we're going to keep talking about it till the end of time. All you modern, normie, trendy fanboys, you can bitch all you want about our criticisms, but we're not going to stop talking about it. Because we remember the original energy of Raccoon City. I don't even think you people understand what the feeling of energy means, or ambience, honestly. You just like the pretty lights and the pretty sights. That's fine. Again, a lot of the streets looked good. I like how they put like an overhead subway system over the streets. Like, that looks really good. It's kind of like a nod to Midwestern cities like Chicago. But again, that's another issue, is the size of the city has been increased exponentially. It's been increased a lot. From a smaller city town kind of Frankenstein to like just a massive city. And it's just, Raccoon City was not that big. It was not that big of a city. I guess it sort of makes a little more sense with, you know, having the population of 100,000 people. So maybe that's what they were going for. And if that's the case, then props there. But at the end of the day, Raccoon City was not that big that they needed an underground subway and an overhead subway. And if I remember correctly, they just completely took out the tram system too out of the remake. The tram was pretty cool, but I guess fuck that, right? Just cut more content. We're going to keep talking about this remake for a long time. There's nothing you trendy fanboys can do about it. So take a seat.